Yo,
Mic check.
yeah, we gonna get to it, y'all. We gonna get to it. We gonna get to it. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we gonna get to it. They gonna talk dirty tonight. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, we back. We back. We back. So tonight, we back, y'all. So we got round 2 of the book giveaway. And I still forgot to bring the book upstairs, man. I be rushing so much to get stuff done. But again, we back. I want to influence y'all in making better decisions about your kids and things like that. So I got a little sniffles because it's cold in Georgia. All of a sudden it got terribly cold. Like, and I ain't gonna say terribly, but you know, it's colder than most Georgians used to, so it is what it is. Now, the title for this one is the book giveaway. But in addition to the book giveaway, we're gonna be giving out the second word for the book giveaway, okay? And I'm not gonna do that right now because I know if I do it right now, people may stop watching the podcast to the end or whatever. But I'm gonna give it out somewhere in between, towards the end or whatever. You know what I mean? But we also want to talk about two things. First thing is we're gonna get into is a lot of times you have your eyes wide open, but you can't see the forest for the trees. And what I mean when I say that is a lot of times we as African Americans are so targeted, okay? We are so targeted by everything around us. We're targeted by the prison system. We're targeted by the school system. We're targeted by um, clothing designers. We're targeted by fast food restaurants. We're targeted by non-fast food restaurants. You know what I mean? We're targeted by the police and everything. So we're so targeted by people that we don't pay attention to what we have going on and what's important that should be important in our community. As you can see, you probably don't be able to see it, but this is my laptop. I got it. I keep it right here because people send me stuff during the podcast, and I be looking at it and pulling it up. Man, I want to play a video from one of my boys, man, but I can't play it because out of respect for him and his career, I feel like his views may be seen in a negative light from the people he worked for. And I was in the military, so this is one of my friends that's in the military, and I got the video, and this particular person has a father that was in the political realm a lot of his life. I'm not gonna say the city because if I give the city, you'll know who I'm talking about. But this particular person, man, he makes a lot of valid points in this video. One day when he get out the military, just remember on this podcast, I told y'all I got that video, and I'm gonna play it for y'all one day. I might find a way to cut like back and forth little snippets because as he explains some of the stuff he's explaining, he talks about the unit he's in the military and stuff like that, and how racism still exists in the military. You know what I mean? So we gonna get into that one day. Um, and I would dare anybody that's been in the military. I've been in the military. I was in the Marine Corps for years. I did tours to Iraq and stuff like that, and I'm in situations where I'm still, kind of fighting for my benefits. Hold on, this camera thing is messing up. So sorry about that. But I'm in a situation where I've been in the military and I know how it works. So what I mean by we can't see the forest for the trees. A lot of time we sit back and we entertain situations that we shouldn't be entertaining. We entertain things that happen in our neighborhood, things that happen that are of non importance. You see what I'm saying? And when I say none important. These things mean nothing to nobody but the people that are pushing that issue. Um, in addition to that, we're also going to talk about a lot of African Americans try to live by a standard that has absolutely nothing to do with what I feel like is the African American situation in America. Meaning, hey mama, meaning a lot of times we sit back and worry about things that have absolutely nothing to do with us. You see what I'm saying? So I want to implore you just to kind of listen to the conversation. If you don't want to listen, if you want to chime in on the conversation. So with that being said, the situation with the girls that I saw about the people dancing or twerking or whatever in the restaurant. What, mama? Give it to Manny. So, do I feel like the restaurant owner was wrong? I don't feel like he was wrong, but I do feel like after discussing this with a couple of people, even people that I work with, after discussing this, I do feel like there was a better way to address that situation. And the reason I say this is because I do understand in, hey, mama, look, go over there, go over there and play. I do feel like that he was wrong in the way he addressed the situation because anytime you're a business owner, right, you do need the money of your patrons. And he may have not needed those particular women's money, but he do need the money of women in general because women outnumber men at least 20 to 1. Meaning, if women stop coming to your restaurant, you're losing, I'm going to say 2/3 of your business. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like he handled it the wrong way, but I do feel like it's something he should have handled. And the reason why is because I kid you not, I know people that own businesses. I know people that own clubs. I know people that own restaurants. I know people that own bars. I know people that own upscale restaurants. And for some reason, when the people that know them come into those restaurants, they feel like they have free range at the business of one of their relatives, friends, associates, co-workers, or whatever the case may be. Now, to me, if you're my friend, I'm going to do nothing to cause harm to you, including degrade your business. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do something that puts your business in a bad light. I'm not going to be in a situation, whether you're playing the music or not. Now, I don't know how the whole thing came about of him playing the music. My understanding was that wasn't the music that was playing in the beginning. Somehow the music started playing or they asked the DJ to play a certain song, whatever the case may be. Either way it go, twerking in a restaurant during COVID should not be a thing. And the reason why is because it's unsanitary. And you're not in a strip club, you're not in a dance club, you're not in a club, you're in a restaurant. And there's no dance floor from what I saw. I'm not saying it's not a dance floor, I'm saying I didn't see a dance floor. So, with that being said, I feel like at the end of the day, if I come to you one time as a business owner and say, hey, look, this ain't that type of establishment, whatever the case may be, woo, 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 hey, please don't do that. You know what I mean? I got people here eating that don't want to see that. I got people here eating that are trying to be respectful. You know what I mean? They trying to be respectful to you like you trying to be respectful to them, but your respect level is different because I don't know if it's how you were raised or where you come from, whatever the case may be. Either way, I feel like people got the right to express themselves, but not in a situation where you are the one out of place. You see what I'm saying? So, in addition to that, there are a lot of situations that are going on right now during COVID. I talked about this a couple of shows ago where I looked at um, the Pfizer vaccine, okay? If you look at this Pfizer vaccine, this Pfizer vaccine has proven, as of today and as of last week when they were talking about it, this Pfizer vaccine has proven to, in their opinion, resolve 90% of the issues with COVID, meaning it helps you, with immunity to COVID and things like that. Now, what's up, Terrell? What's up? But even with helping to resolve the COVID issue, there's a 10% chance that you could get a bad batch. Now, let's break that down again. For y'all that didn't see my last podcast that I talked about this. If 90% of the vaccine worked, and they broke, from what I got out of it, they have broken it down into 64 or 65 locations, 50 being each state, a couple of being major cities, and in addition to the major cities, I think you have a couple of military bases that are going to be like 3 out of the 64. So you got 8 to 10 major cities, 50 states, that makes 60, plus the 5 other locations they're going to be giving it out at, right? Now, why would you have major cities included if you're giving it to the states? I can't come up with them, but one reason you would include major cities, because most minorities live in major cities. And let's put that in, let me break that down to you. If you look at what just happened with voting, in Philadelphia, one major city in Philadelphia changed the outcome of the election in Philadelphia. Imagine if that major city is given a bad batch of COVID-19 vaccines where out of the 90% that are good, right, 90% that are good and the 10% that are bad, half of the vaccines sent to that major city are bad and half of them are good. That means half of the people in that city could still contract COVID. That means that half that contracted could give it to the other half. That means if African American people make up 13 to 14, maybe even 16% of America at this point, if 10% of those 16% are given bad vaccines, then that dwindles the number down. And it is in my opinion that this COVID thing, and I'm not saying it's not real, because I know people that got COVID. I know people who've had COVID. But I also feel like this COVID thing is a situation where it's kind of like a population control type deal. You know what I mean? So since it's a population control, so since it is a population control thing, what if they're willing to get rid of 10% of Americans? Not just black Americans. But if you're going to give out bad batches, you might well give them out in the city. They probably thinking that way. Because if you look at most of the Midwest and most of America, it's a red country. You see what I'm saying? Even in the major states, they got a lot of black people. The black people are concentrated in the major cities. You see what I'm saying? As you see, my kids are trying to take over the podcast studio again. I moved the podcast studio, so they still in here. But if you look at the major cities, the majority of the population of major cities are black and brown people and people that are less of less wealth, basically impoverished people. So you can say, okay, Atlanta gonna be the next Hollywood, because that's where I live at, in near Atlanta, in Stockbridge or whatever. But the reality of it is, most of Atlanta is poor. Most of the rich people in Atlanta don't live in the city. Let's get that correct. Most of the rich people live in Sandy Springs, Eagles Landing, Cobb County, which is not Atlanta. You know what I mean? Cobb County is not Atlanta. Sandy Springs is not Atlanta. Eagles Landing is not Atlanta. None of these cities around there are Atlanta. It's like saying you from Chicago and you live in Kankakee, Illinois. Like, they're not the same. So if you think about the things that we should be worried about, we should be worried about gun control. The only thing that allows us to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government is the right to bear arms. But you have all these naysayers and all these Save the Women of America type people saying that gun violence, this, that, and the third. Well, let me ask you a question. How many people are actually killed from rifles a year in percentage? Anybody that studies this stuff know that less than 3% of people in America are killed by rifles. Most people in America that are killed by firearms are killed by handguns. They're killed by handguns. And in being killed by handguns, nobody has come up, even Joe Biden and his camp, who are trying to take assault rifles and things like that. None of them have come up with a way to stop handgun violence. But they are first going after assault rifles and things like that. What's up? What's up with your bell? What's up with your bell? Hold on for a minute, y'all. Sorry about that. Jordan tried to take over the podcast, man. You got to put them out. But most of the people that are involved in gun violence in America are involved in gun violence with small caliber handguns. Okay, 9mm, 380s, 45s, things of that nature. Most of them are not killed with rifle style rounds. These kids are knocked over my podcast thing. Most of them are not killed with AR-15s, AK-47s. I mean, you may have some people killed with shotguns, but shotgun is the most common home defense weapon. Okay, so with that being said, why would black people, in my opinion, vote to put two more Democrats in office, which will make it easier for Democrats to increase and take guns from the people that really need them? Now, you got to remember, all these people trying to take your guns have armed security. Joe Biden, armed security. Kamala Harris, armed security. Barack Obama, armed security. Hillary Clinton, armed security. Not to mention, other than Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris have all admitted and helped to provide laws for police to interrogate us. So why would you vote the way they want you to vote? And I'm not telling you how to vote, but why would you vote to put two more Democrats in office, which will make it illegal to carry guns? Now, if you look at the history of Australia, this is something that happened in Australia where they end up taking their guns, okay? And I'm not telling y'all how to do this, but while we out here worried about what Jeezy and Gucci doing and what these chicks was twerking and this other stuff, we really need to be watching these politics and how they move and how they maneuver. That's what I mean when I say you can't see the forest for the trees. You looking right at what they're doing and you screaming Black Lives Matter, and you're not, go sit down, and you're not really owning up to what Black Lives Matter mean. Then you're supporting a group of people that have received funds from the National Boy Lovers Association in America. You support a group of people that have been funded for all intentional purposes by the the National Association of Boy Lovers in America, which has been trying to make pedophilia legal in America. So, since I ain't with that, I ain't saying Black Lives Matter is not important. I'm saying the movement is important, but the organization is shit. It's trash. And I just said that, and I ain't taking it back, and I'll stand on it. So, in addition to that, I sit here and I talk a lot with my frat brothers. I sit here and talk a lot with my friends, my coworkers. I talk to women. I talk to men. I talk to black people, white people, Mexican, Puerto Rican. It don't matter. But at the end of the day, like you said, Bill, it is sensationalism. And most of the people, and I didn't vote for Trump or Joe Biden. You already seen that on my other podcast. I already talked about it. Most people feel comfortable with the wolf in sheep clothing. But the wolf in sheep clothing is more dangerous than the wolf. Because when you see the wolf, you know it's a wolf, you know it's dangerous. You know how to prevent that wolf from attacking you, or at least you got a fighting chance. When the wolf put on sheep clothing, that same wolf can sneak up on you. They can do stuff like what Joe Biden did when he was in office with Barack Obama. They can double down on a rule that they already got in place. And all these black people, we got a black president. But the black president let his vice president double down on the 1994 crime bill. You got this privately owned company, the CCA, which is soliciting states to buy their prison, but telling them we'll buy your prison so you don't have to maintain them, but you got to keep the prison system 90% full at all times. Now, anybody that knows anything about statistics and numbers, you can't get a baseball player to hit 90% of the balls thrown his way. You can't get a wide receiver to catch 90% of the balls thrown their way. You can't get a quarterback to throw 90% of his passes correctly. So you're going to require a state to keep a prison full to 90% capacity. You're going to require the prison system to have 90% capacity? Where are they going to get that at? Now, when you make these deals, you got to make these laws more strenuous to keep people in prison. That's what I mean when you can't see the forest from the trees. You can't tell you're in the forest, or you can't tell you're looking at the trees, because guess what? You looking at stuff that don't matter. You out here worrying about what they got going on at these restaurants. You out here worrying about what they got going on with these celebrities. And let me tell you something about these celebrities. What you doing? I know, go play. These celebrities are paid to keep you entertained. It's called entertainment for a reason. Now, I don't know if you all watched 50 Cent when he talked about it. He talked about how the Trump administration called him and contacted him, offered him $500,000 to bag Trump. Then when he denied it, they offered him $1 million. Okay. Now I looked at all kind of videos on this. I looked at plenty of videos where people said this. Let me tell you something. Trump or Joe Biden can't pay me nothing to promote them. See what I'm saying? Now, if I'm given a choice, I'd rather have the wolf than the sheep in wolf clothing, or the wolf in sheep clothing. But I would rather have the other person that had everybody in mind when she was running for president, but nobody voted for her. Then we even had people in certain states write in Kanye West. I'd rather have Kanye West as a president. He cannot do any worse than Joe Biden or Trump would do, or Hillary Clinton. See what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say we looking at the forest, but we can't see the trees, or we looking at the trees but don't notice it's a forest. We out here so bamboozled and entertained by little stuff. See what I'm saying? We're entertained by little stuff. We're not going at the real problem. The real problem is, I remember back in the day when you couldn't show explicit stuff on TV. It was only showed on cable TV, HBO, and stuff like that. Why do we have radio stations that are allowed to play any vulgar music? You see, we shouldn't have any radio station playing vulgar music. And I don't care nothing about Megan Thee Stallion making WAP, just like I don't care nothing about those dudes that's making Throat Baby or none of. Listen, there was a whole conversation for 2 or 3 weeks on every social media site. But the reality of it is, why is that stuff even played on the radio? See, We ain't protesting against the radios playing vulgar music, but when rap music first came out, a large number of Caucasian people protested and wrote and put money into not letting rap music be on the radio. Now that we have conscious rappers, rappers that actually rap about something that is important, we won't even protest to get them on the radio versus the other stuff. It doesn't bother nobody black, huh? Now, I admit, when I was young, I listened to all that, man. I listen. We all fall a victim to it because it's a time thing. It's when you're in that time and you're that age, that is what you listen to, and that is a little bit important. But as you grow older, that's not as important as having the right. That's why when I think about my parents, they actually tried to keep us from listening to Tupac and the Ghetto Boys and, you know, Two Live Crew and all those. And that's just what we listen to, you know what I mean? That's just what we listen to. But at the end of the day, that music was just as vulgar in its time as some of the music we listen to now in this time. So, I don't know how to change the mind of everybody. But I just hope that I change the mind of one person when it comes to these things and people start opening their eyes to these things. Now, the next thing I want to go sit down. But the next thing I want to talk about is this. I don't know when did us living as African Americans by European standard become a thing. You see what I'm saying? And when I say that is, I say this. It's a lot of people that are out here buying things they can't afford to buy. There are a lot of people out here doing things they can't afford to do, even during COVID. You understand? I know people going to the club. I know people going on vacations. I know people taking trips. I know people doing all, what's up, Larry? I know people doing all kind of things that they can't afford to do. But they do them because at the end of the day, the government is providing a way to take care of them when it comes to things like rent, water, gas, and light, food, medical. When it comes to the things that should be important in your life. You understand? But these same people, and not anybody in particular, because I got friends in Georgia, I got friends in Texas, I got friends in California, Mississippi, Alabama, New York, New Jersey, like everywhere. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Florida. These people taking trips like, you know, ain't nothing going on out here. These people taking trips like 700,000 people didn't apply for unemployment. You understand? And through my research, a lot of people that are applying for unemployment are applying for unemployment because they know they can get it due to COVID. They're actually quitting their jobs because they don't want to be out there in COVID. Let me tell y'all people something. What if everybody that worked for Georgia Power quit their job and said, look, I'm not going out there and doing no work during COVID? What if all the firefighters said, look, I got a family too. I'm not going out there doing COVID? What if all the cable and utility workers across America decided to quit their job? What if all the teachers decided, I ain't put my family in harm's way, and I'm not going to put your family in harm's way, so if I can't do it virtually, I'm not doing it? What if all these people that you depend on every day to watch your children and provide certain services for you decide to quit their job? Then how would you feel? Would you feel satisfied and gratitude that all these people that get up off their butt every day and go to work and get wrote up for being late, get wrote up for not having their uniform on right? Now, mind you, all these people got a family. Get wrote up because, hey, their manager's just an a-hole. Whatever the case may be. What if all these people that are essential workers quit their job? And I'm talking about real essential workers. Let's be 100. Let's be 100 about this. People that work at Hardee's are not essential workers. People that work at McDonald's are not essential workers. People that cut your grass are not essential workers. See what I'm saying? What if the government did what it was actually supposed to do? Hold on. What if the government did what it was supposed to do and shut down every state like it's supposed to and only had essential workers working? What if they said, if your internet ain't working, those people are not essential workers? Because by law, utility companies are essential workers, but a lot of companies are masquerading as utility companies that aren't right now. This what happened when the kids try to take over the podcast. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? What if the government came out and said, we locking down everything, ain't nothing moving, ain't no trucks moving, ain't no deliveries going on for Christmas, ain't no mail moving, ain't nothing going on? How would all y'all out there feel that been sitting on y'all ass for the last 7.5, 8 months feel if all these people that been working the last 7.5, 8 months got to sit on their butt for 7.5 or 8 months? What if these Uber drivers couldn't deliver Uber Eats? Ooh, ooh. What if they couldn't deliver Uber Eats? You see what I'm saying? Don't come to me and tell me, oh, bro, you should be happy because you got a job and this, that, and the third. It's people out there every day risking their lives, risking the lives of their families to provide service that you all determine is essential that isn't. But at the same time, you don't give them the just right or the just due to give them the same thing. Now, that's a good statement, Terrell. What if the government decided everybody gonna be on lockdown and they gonna ration out food and hand out food to every family, and they had the military going around handing out the food? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been in the military. If the military handing out food, they ain't giving out them but MREs, buddy. And you might get a box a week per family, and it ain't nothing but 20 meals in a box. So if you got a family of 5, that's 20 meals. That's 1 meal per person every day for 5 days, and you hope Saturday and Sunday you got something to eat. You understand? I know what it is. So all y'all out here talking about, oh, I can't believe you this, and I can't believe y'all mad. Y'all got jobs. We ain't got no jobs. It's a job out there. Amazon hiring every day. Amazon hiring every day. You see what I'm saying? What if you couldn't get up and walk outside your house and get on your bicycle and ride the trail? You see what I'm saying? And everybody talk about how they need to bring the military in and the military need to do this to help shut this down. Understand this. Cover me in the military don't mean the same as cover me on the civilian side with police. If I tell a Marine to cover me, he gonna put rounds down range as if his life depended on it. You understand? Oh, listen, Larry, and I feel you, but see what they ain't paying attention to is that they already done came up with some for these pistol stocks, saying that all these pistol caliber rifles and all these rifle caliber rifles that are considered pistols because they have a pistol brace on them, that's finna go away. So for all y'all that ain't paying attention and you done went out there and bought your pistol caliber rifle or a short barrel rifle with a pistol stock on it, you need to be paying attention because you're finna be a felon overnight, according to the ATF. But these are the things that you should be paying attention to. But y'all out here worrying about what Meg Thee Stallion said. Who the hell want to worry about what Ja Rule think? You see what I'm saying? We already talked. Hey, who cares what Ja Rule thinks? Who cares what celebrities think? And I want to give a big shout out, man, because I watched the Dave Chappelle show, Unforgiven, the little 20, 30-minute skit. Dave Chappelle, to me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, Dave Chappelle may be one of the most honest celebrities out there. You see what I'm saying? And Now, that is kind of right, Larry, about the short barrel rifle process. But what they're doing, they're not trying to hold it against us. They're trying to make it mandatory that you register them. That way, when the killings don't stop, they know where they're at so they can come and take them. You can either hand them over willingly, and we'll give you $100 or $200 for them. When you paid $7,000 to $4,000 for them, when you paid $700 to $4,000 for one, or you can pay that $200 tax stamp. Now they know where it's set because they got a $200 tax stamp. They know it's at your house where it should be by law. So even if you move, you got to have the paperwork with the rifle. So this same thing happened in Australia. That's how they end up taking all their weapons. They made them register them. Then they had a legal buyback where they gave you money, and the ones that didn't want to legally give them up, they took them. Or you went to jail for owning an NFA item. For y'all that don't know what an NFA item is, I can lead you to the water. I cannot make you drink. Plus, like my boy Larry just said, they trying to make it illegal to carry anything more than 10 rounds in the magazine. So each magazine you will also have to pay for. See what I'm saying? You will have to pay $200. Let's say if a rifle comes with 2 magazines. You got to pay $200 for the rifle and $200 for each one of the magazines. That's $600. Hell, that might be more than the cost of the rifle. But the thing is, it's been times, man, when I sit in crowds of people and talk about this stuff. And, you know, they ignore me and all that. Then they call me 6-7 months later and they say, hey, Zulu, man, what I need to do this. Where can I get some ammo at? I've been talking about this for 3 years. I've been telling people about this for 3. What, mama? I'll read it later. Look. Say hey. Hey. Okay. Now you can get down. Now you can stop bothering me. Yeah. So I've been talking about this for 3 years. I got family members that I had to pretty much persuade that never owned firearms to get firearms. Now they're so happy that I persuaded them. Now they're so happy. They're happy that I was buying cases of ammo, and I was like, let's just split this case just in case you need it. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to buy 2 or 3 cases or 1 case or a case here or a case of shotgun or a case of this or a case of that and say, let's split it. See what I'm saying? I could have been one of those people that worry about my own family. I could have been one of those people that say, hey, man, get it how you live. We out here in the streets with it. You know what I mean? But as a people, we have to look out for each other. And looking out for each other ain't, you know, hey, bro, if the police come, I'll give you the cuckoo. And then you can know they come. No, that ain't looking out for each other. Stop, mama. Looking out for each other is educating yourself in the knowledge of the land that you live in. Educating yourself on the rights that you have within the country you live in. Educating yourself on the rights within the city, the state, and the county that you live in. Educating yourself about the people that's running it. That's what looking out for each other is. I know everybody ain't into gun control. That's why I do this. I know everybody ain't into prison reform. That's why I do this. I know everybody ain't into political stuff, and I'm not the greatest in the political. Like Terrell, my frat brother, he way more in-depth educated on this stuff than me, but that's why I do this. That's why I have conversations with Terrell. You know what I mean? That's why I have conversation with my boy, Mr. Wilson, who is a forensic specialist, bro. College brother. Went to college with me, and he's an IOTA. But that's why I do stuff like promote the brother Ty Allen that made the book Danny Dollar, which teaches financial responsibility and introduces your child to what stocks and bonds and things like that are. That's not something that's widely known in the black community, and we can sit right here and act like we do know it. We can sit right here and act like we do know it. But guess what? My parents knew it, but I didn't learn about it till I was in the Marine Corps when I took the financial class in the Marine Corps. You see what I'm saying? We can sit right here and act like our school systems are all the the bells and whistles. But let's be honest. We're decades behind China. We're decades behind Japan. We're decades behind the Netherlands when it comes to education. The first thing we should be teaching, our kids is financial responsibility, reading and writing, and arithmetic, and the financial responsibility. Period. We should be teaching our kids how to. We should be teaching our kids the things that it takes in this world to become financially independent of anybody. We should teach our kids how to make our money work for us instead of making us work for the money. But this ain't the content they want to hear. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give y'all the second word for the Danny Dollar book. I'm not going to repeat the first word. You got to go back to last week's podcast and look at it. That's how I said I was going to do it. So if you didn't get last week's word, I've decided, by the way, that I'm going to do 2 books and the 2 workbooks that go with it. I can only get the workbooks from Ty Allen at his website. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to buy, even though I got copies of the book here because I can get it from Amazon faster. When you win, I'm going to order you books directly from Ty Allen himself with the worksheet, and I'm going to have him send it straight to you. So, with that being said, the next word is economics. Economics. I ain't saying it no more. If you didn't get it, that means you went on the podcast when I said it, then you have to watch the rest of the podcast. Now, I did a podcast, I don't remember how long ago. It was entitled the Black Man is the Most Endangered Species in the World or something like that. Now, I want to tell y'all what prompted me to do that podcast before I speak on what I'm about to speak on. What prompted me to do that podcast is I see everything on the internet, everything on Facebook, everything on Instagram, everything on YouTube about protect the black woman. Stop. Now, I don't disagree with protecting the black woman, okay? For y'all that think I disagree with that, I don't. The black woman needs to be protected, but the black woman has to be protected by the black man because right now she's being protected by the white man. Now, if you don't agree with that, you can look it up. Everything that our women get, and it's been like that since slavery, okay? All the programs they create, women, infants, children. The Department of Family and Children Services that doesn't service the family. They only service women and children. You can get food stamps as a man, but you got to have a good doggone reason to get them. So, that was my prompt to do that podcast. Black men are the most endangered species in America. Even though they lie to you and tell you we fill the prison up more than any other race, which is a lie. I'm reading in a minute, mama. There are an extreme amount of black men in prison. Okay. Now, if you look at the family structure, and I don't subscribe to being against any one person or any one group of people or whatever. I love all people the same. But every household, every species in the world has a masculine and a feminine energy. And I've been studying this masculine feminine energy thing for about 10 years. If you look at the most successful species, they all have masculine and feminine energy. Even in species where the sex can be changed, it's being changed for a reason. You see? So I don't care whether it's 2 men or 2 women or a man and a woman. There has to be a masculine and a feminine energy when it comes to the species surviving, period. Now, in our species, which is the human species, it has been a long time coming that they're trying to push the agenda that heterosexual relationships are less warranted than any other type of relationship, whether it be um man on man, woman on woman, people getting their genitalia cut off, flipped inside out, and all kind of stuff like that. It is, in my opinion, that the majority of this is being targeted towards people that are not of the European descent. And before you say da 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 da, if you look back in history, um, homosexuality, lesbianism, all that comes from cultures of Caucasians. This ain't this ain't a opinion. This is not an opinion. If you look up the history of lesbianism, it comes from Greek or Roman culture, whichever one. They put women on Lesbo Island or whatever, and that's where the word lesbian all that come from. It's just facts. It is what it is. Homosexuality was big in Greek and Roman culture amongst men. That's just facts. Matter of fact, if you look at the story of the 300, they didn't fight that hard because they were fighting for Sparta. They was fighting for each other. They had alpha males and non-alpha males. And this is another situation I want to talk about. Go sit down. A lot of times we as men call ourselves alpha males, right? But we don't really know what an alpha male is. This is a European, this is a European thought. This is a European thought, being a alpha male. There was no such thing as an alpha male in African culture. Stop saying it. Now, I watched the 5150 show, and I watched the. I'm telling you, I watched the 5150 show yesterday, and the brother Corey Hogan was talking about another brother named Grady, that's also a comedian, and he talked about how Grady always talking about he's an alpha male, but he's not because his girl takes care of him and this, that, and the third, and he's giving him money for gas and this. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not saying if you're gonna live by a European standard and call yourself an alpha male, okay? You're gonna what's up, bro? If you're gonna live by a European standard and call yourself an alpha male, understand that alpha males in Roman culture were homosexuals, okay? Alpha males were homosexuals because the beta male was the little boy that was in his 17 to 22-year-old stage that was basically performing sexual acts for alpha male. That's why he was the beta until he grew older and he grew a beard and he became a man in their eyes. So don't address yourself with European standards of living. Even when it comes to the cars you buy, when it comes to the houses you live in and things like that. A lot of times we as men, and I'm not going to lie, I've done it before. But when I re-educated myself, I don't call myself an alpha man. I'm a god. I'm a god man. I am God as a man. In my house, I'm the God. And my wife is the goddess. Hold on. So my thing is this. If I'm God and my significant other is a goddess, it doesn't matter what an alpha male say to me. I already re-educated myself on that. It doesn't exist in my world. You see what I'm saying? So we sit back and judge ourselves by a European standard of living. What kind of car we drive, what kind of clothes we drive. You even measure success based on what people say success is. You don't if you have no definition of success, then you're living on somebody else's standard. I'm gonna give you a good example. I started my podcast over 2 months ago, and I'm still doing my podcast. That is a measure of success for me because most people don't have the willingness to continue doing something, even when the amount of people they figured would be following them or looking at their podcast or submitting to their YouTube and stuff like that. They don't stay consistent. See what I'm saying? Now, the hardest part for me is to transcribe these videos and move them to YouTube. But I'm still working on that because I want it to be right. And even though I'm posting some of them, I still want it to be right. Stop, mama. But I've already hit success for me because I got a friend that put me in his book and put things about me that I didn't think he would say about me. I feel like I've succeeded in what I came to do in this world. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not done yet. Don't let people measure your success based on what they think. You know what I mean? Don't let Europeans make the success standard or make what is successful to them successful to you. You see what I'm saying? We got to believe that we are God. If you look at everything that we've done as a people, it's been copied by every other culture. You know what I mean? Rock music was created by black people. Country music was created by black people. Look at it. I ain't lying to you. Look it up. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying? Most cultures didn't have a rhythm and a beat, drums. They didn't have that. That came from us. It is what it is. And I'm not saying we're the greatest, but we're the greatest they ever seen. You see what I'm saying? We're the greatest they ever seen. So they copy everything we do. And this ain't no, anti-white conversation. This is a I'm pro-black conversation. Just like the KKK is pro-white, I'm pro-black first. I love my people first. Stop. And if I have an option to choose between my people and any other civilization, I'm choosing my people first. So I don't care what none of those people say that be talking. You see what I'm saying? I don't care what that crazy black chick that's married to that white chick be talking about, because she don't even like black men. You see what I'm saying? I don't even have conversation for her. Because if I entertain the conversation, now I'm letting her in my zone. What I'm saying is, hold on. If I let her invade my zone, bro, now I'm just as bad as them. You see what I'm saying? And I had to learn that. It took me a lot to learn that. I've been overseas. I've seen people in real struggle. And I sit here and look at people say stuff like, oh, I'm gangster. Oh, I'm in the streets with it. Nah, you ain't in the streets with it. Because I know an 8-year-old kid that'll bust your muffin cap back blue and won't blink about it. Because that's the life he living in Iraq. See what I'm saying? I seen kids pull AK-47s out and handle that thing better than a grown man. It is what it is. Don't think y'all over here shooting 9mm and running up on unexpecting people with it. I seen a 12-year-old run up on a grown man in the military with his, and he knew what was going to happen when he came up. So all that rah-rah and I'll do this and I'm ready for war, you not ready for war. You ain't never been to war. You don't know how war feel. You don't know how it feel to run down the barrel of a gun and know that you still got to move forward step after step. See what I'm saying? A lot of people talk it, but they ain't never walked it. They ain't never got it. They ain't never made it back from it. I know people that didn't make it back. Families never seen them again. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, man, I love y'all, man, but y'all got to open y'all eyes. You got to stop looking at the forest and not seeing the trees. You see what I'm saying? You got to stop living by the standard of another group of people measuring yourself on their dipstick. You see what I'm saying? You got to stop doing that. You got to be the God that God has planned for you to be. You got to stop believing in these racist religions and stories about us. See what I'm saying? All this stuff has been incorporated into your lives, and you don't even know it's being incorporated into your lives. I have people arguing with me about religion, and I ain't arguing with you about your religion, because in my world it don't exist. Period. Don't exist. You see what I'm saying? So don't come to me with that. Anybody that want to have a conversation with me, y'all know the email, zuluafterdog@gmail.com. I set it up. I'll set it up. Now, what I'm finna start planning, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make this happen. But what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get Dr. Infatunde on here. For y'all that don't know, that's Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm gonna try to get Dr. Umar Johnson to go live with me one day, because I do got his book. Y'all saw that I went and bought it, man. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I don't know all that stuff about school counseling and this, that, and the third. So I went and got the book to re-educate myself because I got kids. I got small kids. Y'all hear them, they running around here. And I ain't finna let these folks trick me into putting my kids on ADHD, Ritalin, and all that bull crap medicine. See what I'm saying? But in order to stop them from doing that, I got to know how to fight it. Y'all so caught up in what people saying about Dr. Umar Johnson, i.e. Dr. Infatunde, that y'all ain't even worried about the information that he putting out has come from 20 years of working, 20 years of wisdom working in that department. I don't care what y'all think about the school he doing. I don't care if y'all think he's scamming. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is that this man wrote 2 books that doesn't help me keep my kids off that bull crap medicine. Period. So don't come to me telling me nothing about Dr. Umar Johnson, a scam or nothing like that. I had a guy tell me that. I say, well, all politicians scammers, but you voted for them. Joe Biden a scammer, but you voted for him. Donald Trump a scammer, but you voted for him. See what I'm saying? Mayor Kasim Reed, scammer, but you voted for him. So don't tell me what you willing. It's just what you willing to deal with at the time. You know what I mean? Y'all feel so comfortable that Joe Biden going in office, not understanding that Joe Biden finna do y'all the dirty way. Hey, stop. Not understanding that Joe Biden finna do y'all the dirtiest way. The dirtiest way, man. And I just want y'all to understand it. I didn't get my line name by being some kind of pushover or some kind of simp. You can ask any of these brothers in here. Terrell, Soul Lion. And Soul Lion ain't in my fraternity, but he understand the reason I got, stop. He understand the reason I got my name Shaka Zulu. But I ain't gonna get fooled like Shaka Zulu got fooled. I learned from his mistake, you understand? So, by me learning from the mistake of another brother, I grew stronger. And I accept the challenge of holding the name Shaka Zulu as a fraternal name in my fraternity. You ain't never met another Shaka Zulu like me. Not in this fraternity or no other fraternity. Because I ain't going for it. I don't fall prey to holidays. I don't fall prey to holidays. I don't fall prey to people telling me how to spend my money. I don't fall prey to people telling me how to run my family. I don't fall prey to people telling me how to work my job. If I don't like the job, I'll quit. I got enough confidence in myself and me getting out there and grinding and getting it to where if I feel like my job is screwing me over, guess what I do? I get out there and get it legally. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we done forgot as a people. See, when they integrated us into white society, they integrated us because we was too powerful. We was too strong. We was building cities that rivaled the richest white cities in America. But now we feel good because we can go to Lenox Mall, because we can go eat at Carrabba's, because we can go eat at Ruth Chris with them. We can rub shoulders with them, but they don't really like us like that. You see what I'm saying? So instead of us doing like the Asians and the Mexicans and the Latinos, building our families up as a group from within, soon as we can, we out the house. We gone. Soon as we can, we putting our kids out the house. We don't want them here. 18, get out of here. You know what I mean? Asians keep their kids until they get enough money to buy a car and a house. So they ain't got no bills when they get out. Everything they got gonna be profit, but y'all don't want to hear that. Latinos, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans do the same thing, but y'all don't want to hear that. You see what I'm saying? We let white people tell us how to manage our families. We let Department of Family Children Services come in our house and tell us how to run our house. It's crazy to me. But hey, I love y'all, man. And I can't tell y'all nothing but the truth, whether you like it or not. Some of y'all ain't gonna like it. Some of y'all gonna hate it. Some of y'all gonna give me the thumbs down. But some of y'all gonna give me the thumbs up. You gonna go to my YouTube at Zulu After Dark Podcast on YouTube and you gonna subscribe. Because that's what I'm gonna be putting all this stuff at eventually. So I just want y'all to understand, man. I ain't trying to tell y'all nothing to bust your bubble or keep you in the dark. I'm just trying to bring you to the light, man. And like I said, this is Zulu Podcast, man. Next week, I'm going to try to have somebody on here with me, and we going to do what we do. Until the end, man, I'm going to hit y'all with the intro for the outro. Remember, next week, is gonna be the last week before the 15th when I give out these things. So if you ain't watched the first show and get the first word, you need to get it. I gave you the second word today. I'm gonna give you the third word next week. And whoever win the third word, I'm gonna go ahead and order those things next week. Okay? Because I know who gonna win soon as y'all send them to me. Like after next week, the week, I don't have my calendar with me, but the week of the 15th is when I'm gonna announce the winners. But soon as I give out that third word, y'all can send me y'all email. And I'm gonna announce that next week who won. And when I announce who won, I'm gonna show you that I'm ordering them. And hopefully, when you send it to me, send me your address. Now, if you in Atlanta and you want me to send it to my address and just bring it to you, that'll work for me too. But if you ain't in Atlanta or you ain't in one of the surrounding areas close, I can't bring it to you. I'm not driving to Valdosta. I'm not driving to Macon. I'm not driving to Tennessee or nowhere. If you in the Atlanta areas, and I'm going to just say this, if you in the metro Atlanta, because I know y'all know what metro Atlanta mean. It means it's part of Atlanta that ain't really Atlanta, that they trying to make Atlanta. I deliver anywhere in the city. You see? But, like I said, hit you with the intro for the outro.
That's 100 points. Mike, check.
Hey, Uncle.